Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops and the elders of GMS, who as well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Yet I Love Jacob and I Hated Esau. Right? And that was taken from Malachi, the first chapter. But basically, what I'm going into is the layout of the earth and basically how things are set up against Esau in these last days. Him trying to achieve his global dominance and basically just further his agenda or his plan, right? Because pursuant to Genesis, uh, all right, so Genesis 27 and we'll start at we'll just do 32. Genesis 27:32, right? So pursuant to Genesis 27, what Esau blessing would be what the fatness of the earth, and he has it. So let me grab it. Genesis 27:32. It says, "And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed." So what? The sons of Isaac was who? Esau and Jacob. So, Jacob got the blessing of what? The kingdom, the rulership over the nations, and Esau was the firstborn, but Jacob got the blessing, right? And you have to go into the history or whatever. You can read it all here in Genesis 27 to understand it. It says, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. So Esau wanted a blessing. It says, and he said, Thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these two times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he hath said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? So Esau asked Isaac, Has not thou reserved a blessing for Esau? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? So what? Esau's blessing was what? To go forth throughout the earth with the sword, conquering, as he has done. Esau's so-called white man, right? And even, in the history, we had, the 40 years of peace, King David, King Solomon. We had the heathen in subjection, Esau at the bottom of our foot. But, ultimately Esau was able to come up, over us because of what? Us sinning against our, father, Yahweh. So that's one and two. And now Esau is here and he's doing what? He has the fatness of the world and controlling it. So going over here to Revelations, it says victory of the Lamb, Revelation 17 and 14, it says, just getting straight to the point, these shall make war with the Lamb. This is going into the what Esau has set up now, his beast system, NATO, EU, and of course America. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. So basically, it's going to the nations coming against the Lord on his return, pursuant to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, because the nations will be doing what? War, in the Middle East over there. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the words which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest. So once again, I'm pretty much at the end of this, straight to the point. You have to read it. It breaks it down and it gives you what it's talking about. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So these 10 horns, which is the NATO and EU and the allies of America, would in the end times hate America, right? And eventually, shoot nuclear missiles at America. That's why it says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her with flesh, and burn her with fire. For Yahweh hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kingdom of the earth. So see, Esau has his blessing. And what Esau has set up is his kingdom, right? And his allies, and he has put certain things the way he wants it, because he could have easily, taken over, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Russia, and all these different places. But the Most High has trapped him in this position, and that's why, let me grab this. I don't know where I want to go with it, but basically you have the world, right? This is the world that Yahweh has set up, all right? And allies of America, over here, Saudi Arabia and things like that, these are the nations that are going to turn against America, right? So this is the trick bag that the Most High has America in, because now we're at the end, so basically you have things here like these crates here, right? Which I got. So this is a crate here. You can see the name right there, and I got it, and I'm gonna pull it up. And then you have this crate here. Crate of Humas, right? And then you also have, so this is pretty much where all the oil out of the world comes from. And Saudi Arabia has pretty much been what aligned with America, and America hasn't went in and controlled it and took over it. They just made a deal where, you give us the oil is backed by the dollar, so they had that deal. And then what? Also, you have the Arctic now, the Arctic Sea, the ice here is melting. And now the nations are also fighting over this, so it's beautiful that basically the Lord has set the road up the way he has set it, because it's against Esau Edom, and for Esau Edom to leave, these different people in control of different areas, without doing anything until this point where we're at the end, where, they're going to push forward that last war to, whatever agenda they have, which is complete control, ultimately, issuing out the MOTB. So that's pretty much where I'm going with it. Now, let's get these crates. So this is the first crate here, which is a problem for Esau now in the end. Can't really pronounce it. It says Bab al Mandab's crate. It says the Bab el Mandab act as a strategic link between the Indian Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea via the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. It says most exports of petroleum and natural gas from the Persian Gulf that transit the Suez Canal or the assumed pipeline pass through both the Bab el Mandab and the Strait of Hormuz. So basically what? That's the oil, and the things needed, around the world. All right, so going over here. So that's the first strait that's here. And of course, what we have in these last days is America at war with Yemen. And why is that? Because the least of the flock drawn them out to the battle, and the least of the flock would be Israel here. And Israel has, a goal to achieve, which is greater Israel. So a lot of this stuff here, they want, to have that greater control. But, we're in what? In the last days where these nations are angry with Babylon and Great and Israel because of the things that they're committing to get to that point, So now this other strait here, the Strait of Hormuz, is another problem. Because what? Now Iran and Iran backed, individuals are talking about blocking this off. They even position, bomber missiles right here, greater Tom and lesser Tom here, and it was another one somewhere else, probably on this one. Yeah, that he put missile launchers. So here we got this. Strait of Hormuz. Why is it important? It says the Strait of Hormuz is a vital global energy choke point because it's the only sea passage between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, and a significant portion of the world's oil and NLG trade passes through it. So hey, this is it's beautiful. It's beautiful because why? The Lord set up the world how He wanted it, and it's against Esau Edom, and that's why I titled it, or what I titled it, right here in Malachi. The point is in 3. I read it from the top. It says Malachi 1:1. It says the burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. It says, I have loved you, said the Lord Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. Right? So what? You're going back to Isaiah 14, the Lord will yet choose Israel, right? And basically it shows that the Lord hates Esau, and he's gonna destroy Esau. They shall build, but what? The Most High will throw down, and the layout of the world shows that, because everything that Esau's trying to do in this last time is against him, regarding what's set up. So basically, all American allies, or who they will call allies, are turning on them now, and they hold key points in the world. It's even like Greenland. Trump wants Greenland now, who's an ally, but they're just trying to take it by force. Why? Because the ice here is melting, and it has natural resources up under there. So now, America is trying to take it by force. So hopefully you can understand where I'm going with that. Let me grab this. Jeremiah 15:22, it says, a sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So this is America, Babylon the Great, right? And pretty much they're not in a position to control or do anything, because the trip bag, the snare that the Most High has put them in, regarding trusting their allies and leaving these different positions and strategic points to their enemies, which, would be their allies, but now their enemies. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh by Shah. Right? And what? Ultimately, the Lord Yahweh have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. So, these nations are going to come against Babylon the Great. Look over here. It says, I started 6, Obadiah 1:6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. So, all his allies are pretty much turning on him. You can't go ahead and annex Greenland. Even Saudi Arabia is saying that they don't want America to, basically use their airspace to, go against Iran. So once again, Saudi Arabia is what? Basically an ally to America by means of, they have deals in place regarding the oil, which comes through here. So America is positioned over here, somewhere over here. See, this is where they have those 52 B-2 bombers that they're trying to launch against Iran here in this end time war. And Saudi Arabia is saying, don't fly over our land, pretty much. But we'll see what happens. That's just a statement. We'll see what happens if whether they use it or not. You know. So let me see what I got here. We'll start at Isaiah 47 and 6. It says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And that goes into my title of the video. Yahweh loved Jacob but hated Esau, right? Because the Most High, what? He gave us into the hand of our enemies for punishment, but Esau showed no mercy, as in, doing the things, the atrocities that they committed, skinning the Israelites and, using them, wearing the skin, taking the teeth out the mouth and putting it in their mouth, just a whole manner of different things that Esau has done that he has to pay for in these last days. Isaiah 47 and 7, it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am and none else beside me, I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children and widowhood. It shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. See, so this is that snare and that trip bag that the Most High has Esau in these last days. And, like I said, what's beautiful to me is what's set up in the world, how the world is created. And now these enemies, are in positions that's better than Esau. These different heathen nations are in positions that's better than Esau. And it's against Esau, how the Most High, set these things up, and put different people into the different lands. Right, and pursuant to Ezekiel 38, these different individuals will be joined with Russia, to take on Babylon the Great. So basically, in order for, America to pursue with Israel their, greater Israel plan and, whatever other agendas they have to do, they have to go against Russia and all these nations. So, Lord willing, you get what I'm saying here. Yeah, go over here. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 1. And he said unto me in the beginning, when the earth was made before the borders, the world, sorry. And he said unto me, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the wind blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Sion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, for they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure, then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Right, and that's an excellent point. The Most High made everything. He put everything together. And that's going to, basically what I'm saying about how the layout of the world is now. It's nice for war, basically. And this is the last war, World War III. Let me grab this. It says Joel 3:1, it says, for behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. So see, the Most High is gathering the nations together, So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I had on that. I just wanted to bring that point out, basically the layout of the world. So, Lord willing, you edified from the video. I'll say shalom to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.